Called Cam, I'm like, yo, with the serious face, like, yo, you know, I saw that shit with 50 Cent. Yo, why he giving you the pat? Like, you know, since when there's a pound, when niggas see each other, they smacking each other on the hips. What's that all about? Like, what was your reaction? Like, do you say stop or, you know, like, what do you do when a strong-ass nigga with a tight suit smacks you on the ass you gotta say stop, no pat? We not in the pat club. You know.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous Ed Lover, and you are watching Forgotten KingzTV. That's right, Forgotten KingzTV. Come on, son.
Moments ago, Cam'ron finally addresses his issues with Dame Dash. That's right, y'all. For those who missed the latest episode of Talk with Flea, Cam'ron finally breaks his silence on his beef with Dame Dash. Okay, now again, as we all know, last year, Dame Dash and 50 Cent were going back and forth in a series of posts, and we all seen the viral video of Dame Dash's dentures falling out of his mouth. Okay, so of course, once he's seen this video of 50 and Cam greeting each other, you see 50 hitting Cam on his side, right, on his backside, on his hip. You know, according to Cam, Dame reached out immediately. Look, I'm about to talk about this video of you and 50 in the Pat Club, right? Just letting them know, giving them the heads up. According to Cam, Dame took it too far, right? And in this episode, it's like Cam is trying to his best to be honest with someone he has a great deal of respect for, right? And in this episode, like I said, I'm sure Dame will have a response for Cam, right? Speaking on Dame. However, like I said, just seeing this episode and acknowledging the fact that Cam does have a great deal of respect for Dame Dash. However, he lets Dame know, listen, we are far removed from those Rockefeller days, right? The reason I'm here today is because I continue to hustle, right? Regardless of the history we made in the past, you got to keep hustling, you know, and that's something that Cam highlights in this episode, right? He also talks about Dame Dash and his treatment of other people. You get what I'm saying? So this is really Cam speaking to Dame Dash, you know what I mean? Speaking to his soul, essentially, letting him know, listen, it ain't, you know, me hating on you. I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I view the situation. You tend to take things too far, you know, and even in this situation with 50 Cent, I get it. I understand. 50, it seems like, you know, recently, every time he shows up, you know what I mean? It's always starting some form of controversy. And even just seeing 50 with Cam, right? We just seen last month with Jim Jones. You get what I mean? Dame Dash, he spoke on that situation with Cam and Jim. You know what I mean? And he tried to give a different perspective, right? Essentially just saying, you know, let's try to rail it in. Let's not beef on the internet. So we've seen certain stages with Dame, right, as the time progressed. However, like I said, with Cam now, in this latest episode we Talk with Flea, he finally, you know, addresses these issues with Dame Dash. So y'all let me know your thoughts on Cam addressing these issues with Dame Dash. Do you think Cam'ron makes some valid points in his response to Dame, or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts on all of this controversy down in the comment section below. But again, that's all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time. Peace.
So last time me and Dame spoke, he called me and he like, yo, you down with the Pat Club? And I'm like, what are you talking about, Dame? Now I see you with 50. You came and padded your pockets. What's up with that? I said, pardon me. I said, it wasn't nothing. It was all good. He said, nah, Cam, you can't be down with the Pat Club. That's a Pat. I was just laughing. I said, this nigga Dame is crazy. So he says, yo, you mind if I talk about it? Because me and 50 going through something. I said, I don't care, do whatever you want to do. So he ends up talking about it a couple weeks later, and then nigga says, yo, Cam letting niggas come up and smack him on the ass. See, it always goes too far. You didn't tell me that on the phone, because I would not okay for you to say that niggas is coming up smacking me on the ass, because nobody's coming up smacking me on the ass. So then I was like, see, this is, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a little freestyle I shot a video for, and I was like, it's real disappointing when your OG turns snaggletooth. in the song, and I had him in the video with his situation. I said, I can't even, I love the nigga too much. I can't even put this out. I felt bad after I shot it. But he's on the internet telling niggas, what you do, this is exact words, what you do when a big, strong nigga comes smack you in the ass. And I'm like, yo, you violating, bro. Your internet violating, B. So I said, I couldn't even put the video out. I said, I'm not doing it. And so he has the movie Honor Up coming out on BET. So he calling niggas like, yo, post it on your page, post it on your page. And I ain't pick up for him because he just got in there, said niggas smacking me on the ass. No, pause. She just got on the internet and said niggas smacking me on the cheeks, pause. I'm like, yo, I ain't posting, bro. Prior to him being on BET, he always said he don't need no major TV sponsor, nothing of this and none of that. And he do everything on his own. And niggas who go to the network, that's not independent. I'm independent, this, that, and third. Now you calling it talking about post BET. It goes against what you talking about. From Dame is the only nigga I see where you go to his house and he got the stand-up shit in the men's room. He got a urinal in his house, in the movie room, a urinal. You go to Dame house, he got a crib in Malibu. Yo, you know these walls are made out of museum walls, right? This is the same shit they use in the museum. This ain't regular house walls. They make museums out. This is museum walls and shit. Bro, if you live like that, you gotta keep hustling. You can't buy all that shit you bought. And I'm being nice. I'm not even naming half of it. You can't buy all that shit and spend all that money and then be like, I shouldn't have to work anymore. I ain't have half the shit I just named. I ain't have no 2 lofts in Soho. I ain't have no 2 mansions in London. I ain't fly private every day for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I ain't have no damn urinal. This all the shit you was spending your money on. I'm just good budgeting money, thank God. And thank God I keep coming up with different hustles to do this. Now, did Dame give me my opportunity to get back on my feet? Absolutely. Absolutely. I may not be if it wasn't for Dame, but not because of the initial favor he did for me. He signed me to Rockefeller, and I took off and I kept doing other things and other things and other things. I'm not eating off the Rockefeller money no more. Thirdly, and Dame would testify, when I was getting it and I was signing Dame, I would take briefcases of money. Briefcases like the mob, nigga. Like, you know, you show up with your man the briefcase and give the nigga briefcase, open it, money in it. Couple times, brought Dame briefcases of money when I first started getting real money at Rockefeller. So when he be like, niggas don't do this and that, no, bro, how long niggas supposed to do? You cannot just stop hustling and be like, the niggas who up, you just be like, I shouldn't have to work no more. You know, Dame know this better than anybody. Until you hit that hustle, that one lick, pause, that one lick, you got to keep hustling. And the thing about it is, me personally, Dame lives at a higher echelon, if that's the right word I'm using, than the rest of us. I said, even the best house I live in, me and Dame got to an argument one time. I said, yo, we was going back and forth about some shit. Oh yeah, it was about Kanye house. He said, yeah, me and this nigga going back and forth. He's like, yeah, I just left Kanye house. He got horse shit. You got dog shit in your house. I'm like, okay. I had a crib in Florida. I won't say what part or whatever. I said, Dame, my crib in Florida is 9,000 square feet. Oh, that's still little. That's a little house. 9,000 square, okay. We going back and forth. Now we in a full-fledged argument. Fuck out of here. You ain't doing this, doing that. I said, Dave, I own all my houses. You don't own any of your houses. He said, yeah. Who want to own a house in a recession? I said, that's the time to own them. I lose the argument every time. The best way to beat Dame is on a text. You're not going to beat him verbally. So, but to answer your question, I love Dame. That's my bro. And whatever I can do for him, I absolutely will. But all this shit, you shouldn't have to work no more. And then nigga wasn't even thinking about me. Throw my name in, and it's kind of crazy. But you spend crazy. You spend crazy, and you talk crazy to people too. I'm just a nigga who knows you, so I could tolerate some of your verbal abuse, even though you don't consider it verbal abuse. I tell Dame talks crazy. Last thing, and I'm just saying, it's his spending. Dame would be set for life if he knew how to manage his money. He made more than enough money not to work no more. But he want to keep hustling, and I dig it. It's in him, pause. That's just something he want to do. But when it's not working out, you can't get mad at other people. I tell people all the time, Dame is like Dr. Brown from Back to the Future. Because people say Dame is crazy, and God bless the dead. Irv Gotti came to my crib one time, and he said, yo, man, you the only one who could talk to Dame, bro. You know what you should do? Have a talk with him. He said, because when he's up and he's acting crazy, which he's not acting, he looks like a genius. But when he's down and he's talking like this, he looks crazy. You should have a talk with him. And I told Irv Gotti, I say, yo, the problem with this, it's not a problem, but this is Dame. He's Dr. Brown from Back to the Future. And what I mean when I say that is that, you know a nigga who be telling you, yo, I got a time machine. You be like, this nigga's crazy. But he fuck around and have a time machine. You know what I'm saying? You can't count Dame out. Dame will come up with some shit next year and have another $200 million company. I remember when Dame was going through his shit, he'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I'll make another $100 million company tomorrow. That's what I do. He made 3 different $100 million companies, whether it was Rockefeller, Rockaware, Rachel Roy. He makes $100 million companies, so you can never count Dame out. But you can't get mad at niggas for not spending how you spend and say you shouldn't have to be working no more.